But yeah, this is my Makerspace. And so this is one of those sort of crypto art platforms in which you can sell your art. And so what you would do basically is upload a image of that file or that image, and that can be MP4. They've really opened it a lot recently, like 3D files, things like that. But of course, I focus on digitizing my paintings and then uploading them as that. And so these sort of are like list prices, some were auctions, and some were like gifts to people and stuff.
See,
It really varies. You can really sort of see like the different styles too.
yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of styles, I'm looking at your work here, and despite having, somewhat of a similar pattern, like they're all so diverse. Like every single one.
Mhm.
I don't know if we can pull up on one specifically right now, but I'm just like looking through this, and
Yeah.
I can't believe. I mean, how many of these pieces do you have, man? Like how many?
So I mean, with painting a piece a day, I mean, I definitely don't upload all of them to this like crypto stuff. But I think around like 70 to 80 or so, around that number. And then one good one to show might be the artist or more fish in the sea, I believe it's called.
Which one?
The artist.
The artist. Let me see. I don't know if we can pull it. If not, it's okay. I'm just
Yeah.
wow. So, what was the other thing I was going to ask you about this? So, I mean, it's easy to ask like how did you get started? But I mean, it's more of like where do you think you're going with your work? You know, like what have you seen yourself develop into and I mean, it looks like you're going into animation, but I mean, I don't know. Do you know where you want to go, or are you just kind of, on for the ride?
I think I'm really just sort of exploring. The main thing that I'm just trying to stay consistent with is painting a piece a day, because it really sort of provides me that emotional release and just fun overall, I think. So that's like the main thing I've been staying consistent with. But yeah, I've been trying to learn like 3D art. Definitely animating is another big one that I've been looking into. It's fun to just sort of hop into different avenues and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, and I have to say, because you have, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, these things read a little aggressive, right? You know what I mean? Like they're very strong pieces. So we talked about this before, but I had, when I first started seeing your work on Instagram, I was thinking, wow, I have this like strong urge to pair this with folk punk music. And sure enough, when we're talking, you're like, yeah, that's exactly the vibe. So how did that happen? How did you find yourself or see yourself like being influenced by music and then transmutating that to like a visual art medium, you know?
Yeah. So I mean, I personally made music for a few years. I wasn't the happiest with it after a while, and that's why I did sort of focus more on painting. But music's a big influence when it comes down to what I create nowadays too, just because I'm listening to it all the time. But yeah, we had a really good conversation about how folk punk is like a pretty big inspiration for me. Just sort of coming down to growing up with it and sort of relating it to the style of my art as well. Folk punk's like really raw, in your face, chaotic, screaming and stuff like that. And I don't know, I like that style. It just sort of expresses how I want to feel in a really
Yeah.
nice way.
Do you
Some
think
people might not
that's,
like it, but I like it.
oh, I mean, I don't, I mean, I'm sure some people would, I mean, not everyone can like the same thing, but I'd say overall you capture, especially for someone like myself who just loves seeing creativity sprawl out of people. I love I think honesty of, the stuff you put down, because it's honest in a way where it's like, yeah, the shapes are abstract. It's not, anything that looks, hyper realistic, but it's still conveying a very realistic feeling. Like I don't know. That's what I love about, more abstract pieces.
So Johnny Hobo, Ramshackle Glory, those are two, they're the same people, but two artists that really sort of, I think, gave me that push in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I still listen to them now to this day, since like 2015 or so. But yeah, I mean, I don't really sort of talk about it too much, but Ramshackle Glory was actually sort of like the band that did get me clean as well, from sort of using at a younger age. I did get the chance to sort of see them live, and I sadly wasn't in the best time during that when I did go see them. But it gave me that chance to sort of meet that artist face to face, and sort of really see what he thought. And he always preached that sort of staying clean, taking control of your life, getting off those things, and just sort of see how he thought about me in real person. Definitely put it into perspective. So I can say that Ramshackle Glory, 100% is like a huge inspiration, and definitely sort of helped me in the long run, just overall when it comes to life.
Wow. And were you already working on stuff at this time? Were you already drawing and experimenting, or did that kind of come during that journey?
It came during the journey of definitely getting clean, sort of trying to find a way to express myself without falling back into some other sort of drug abuse or anything like that, and just being able to express myself as well.
Yeah, do you think that's a key part of that process, and that those steps is finding a place to, have a catharsis that isn't, self-inflicted, but rather, projected onto some medium?
Yeah, I think, some people might be able to find success with staying clean just by staying clean. But I'm always a big advocate for people just finding a way to express themselves. It could be photography, painting, drawing, sculpting, anything in sort of like an output, I think is good to sort of help people as well.
Yeah, man.
And that's why I definitely do it like the daily as well, because it just keeps me sort of having a reason in a sense. And a way to keep pushing myself, I think.
Yeah, I think it's important. It teaches a sense of it's self-discipline, but in a way that you're still creatively expressing yourself. So I think sometimes people focus on discipline more than realizing there's a balance between discipline and creativity. So I think it's good that you're using that as a form of self-improvement and a form of identifying like the sound of your spirit, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And I remember
it's good to sort of.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go for it, man.
I think it's just good to get rid of that idea of perfection or trying to perfect things. So I think painting's a great sort of output for that as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't think, I think it's cliche, but Bob Ross always said it. So, there must be some kind of truth to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is folk punk always angry? It sounds angry, but is the emotional state that they're trying to get across meant to be angry, or is it just kind of, do you know what I'm saying? Am I going anywhere with this?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily always angry. I think that's just like an easy way to explain the style or vibe of it. I think it's just being able to express yourself freely in that like DIY sort of style as well. is like another like big thing that I'm about. And I think it goes back down to like those punk aspects of it as well. Just saying like fuck the system and all that shit like that too.
Well, okay, so I I I think that makes sense. I'm trying to, man, because see, I'm trying to go somewhere with this, and I'm trying to figure out where I'm going because you kind of touched on it. It's, I don't know. I'll have to think about it a little bit more. I'll keep moving forward, but we'll circle back to this because I think it's an important part of your artistic identity, in the sense of, I mean, it's literally the name, emotional. You know, you're trying to expand on complex thoughts and feelings, without limiting yourself, and being consistent. And, that's more than just one emotion. That's not just anger. There's a lot of other, there's a spectrum within that. And I think part of what, getting people to sit down and listen to a Ramshackle Glory song is, painting that picture for them when they listen to the music. When you just jump into it, just like anything else that's kind of unfamiliar or niche, it's,
it can scare some people and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah, it can be a lot.
Yeah, when you get like a more visual idea of it and sort of like the meaning behind it, besides just like that screaming and yelling and stuff like that, you're definitely able to connect with it a bit more.
I think so. And that's how I fell in love with it. I kind of looked at it through a different lens, seeing how it inspired my friends, and, seeing like the words, reading the words, seeing it's well written. Like those guys are real writers, they're not like a studio, plant or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's like, there's no like limiting the artist in a sense. They're putting their self right there, and that's another big part that I like about it.